Saram students, and welcome to this session. Today we'll be doing the revision of chapter 5 from your Moments textbook, that is the Happy Prince. This chapter is there for your periodic test which will be held very soon, and so we need to understand this lesson in real detail. The author of this particular story, The Happy Prince, is Oscar Wilde. First, let's understand the theme. Let's revise. The story is an allegory. What's an allegory? It is a story where you create a particular situation, scenes, which gives certain messages, gives us some ideas, which spread some values to us. It is based on the theme that love and sacrifice are important values in human life, and happiness comes to those who make others happy. So this is the theme of this particular chapter. Those who have compassion and concern get as much joy as those who receive their kindness and charity. So we need to show compassion and concern for people who are in trouble. We need to be kind to them. The story throws light on the problems of social inequality, the healing power of love, and the loss of innocence. So there is a lot of problems which we face in the society, problems of inequality, and how the healing power of love can change lot of these kind of situations. So the story, we understand that. It is a story of a prince and a little swallow. The Happy Prince was a beautiful statue on a tall column in the city. A swallow takes shelter beneath the statue. The swallow bird and the statue of the prince sacrificed their happiness and wealth for the good of others. So if you have gone through the textbook, the lesson, you will know this particular story is concerning the prince and the little swallow, how they helped people in distress and how they sacrificed their life. So we'll now just check out with the main characters. First is the Happy Prince. He is a beautiful statue made of precious jewels, which parts with all its wealth to help the poor and needy. So this is a statue of the Happy Prince who is totally covered with lot of jewels like sapphires, rubies, gold leaves, and how he sacrifices all this and parts with all this wealth to help the poor and needy. Then comes the swallow. It's a migrant bird who seeks shelter beneath the statue and sacrifices its life to help the prince in serving the poor and the needy. So this is about the swallow who along with the prince helped the poor and needy. Okay students, now just we will go through the entire lesson in short. You need to read the lesson thoroughly. You will get questions which with multiple choice. You will have MCQ questions that will be asked. You will have options given. You have to choose the correct option. So in order to answer these questions, you need to read your lesson really thoroughly, because from anywhere you can get questions. So we will just go through the lesson and understand it. A statue of a prince is installed at the top of a tall column in the city. So there is the statue which is at the tall column in the city. His statue was covered in gold, had beautiful sapphires for eyes, and had a ruby attached to the handle of his sword. So the entire statue is covered with gold. Eyes were made of sapphires and ruby was attached to the handle of his sword. When he was alive, he was happy because he was ignorant of sadness and suffering of his people. He was a very happy prince because he never experienced any kind of sorrow during his lifetime. He was ignorant of any kind of suffering or sadness faced by the people because he was ever happy. He got everything that he wanted when he was alive. The statue's placement allowed him to witness the pain and misery experienced by the poor of the city. So now, after his death, when a statue was built in his honor, he could actually see the pain and misery experienced by all the people, the poor people of his city. This brought tears to his eyes. He felt really sad about the condition of his people. This brought tears to his eyes. The tears fell on a swallow bird who had taken overnight shelter under the statue on his annual winter migration to Egypt. So now there was one swallow bird who had taken shelter right at the feet of the statue, and the tears fell on this swallow bird. The swallow eventually becomes affected by the statue's kindness and desire to help others. So when the prince and the swallow have conversations, the swallow is really touched by the kindness shown by the statue and the desire to help the people around. He carries the jewels on the request of the statue to the various people who need help. So this swallow becomes a part of this particular sacrifice or this particular help that the statue intends to give the people who are in need in the city. So he carries the jewels. These needy people include a seamstress, a young man, a poor young girl, and many more poor and starving people. So a seamstress is a lady tailor, okay. So he hands over the ruby to the seamstress. There's this young man who intends writing a play, who is very weak. So the statue partakes the thing, like he sends a sapphire for this young man. The match girl, he sends another sapphire, and he distributes all his gold leaves one by one to all the people who are poor and starving in the city. As the statue's gold and jewels are taken and redistributed among the poor, the prince is no longer able to see as his eyes have been removed. But he knows poverty exists in the city. So everything is distributed among the poor, all his jewels. Now he is not able to see because his eyes are also removed. As winter comes, the swallow dies from exposure and exhaustion. The swallow had helped this statue a lot, traveling throughout the city to help the people in need. However, because of the extreme winter, the swallow was unable to bear this cold and died. He could never reach Egypt because he exchanged his dream of a warm climate and comfort with a bigger dream to bring help to those who are in need. So the swallow who had decided to go to Egypt never reached Egypt because he was busy helping the statue, comforting the people around, giving help to those who are in need in the city. He was doing a greater job out here. The heart of the prince cracks with sadness at the loss of the swallow. So the heart cracks, it breaks because of the loss of the swallow. Upon seeing the statue in such condition, the powerful people of the city decide that it is no longer useful because it is no longer beautiful. So, seeing this state or condition of the statue, which is no more beautiful, it's looking really ugly at the center of the city, standing tall out there, the people around, the mayor and the people in the city decide to take it off, saying that it is no longer useful nor is it looking beautiful. So the statue is taken down. When the statue is melted in furnace, the broken heart made of lead does not melt. It is thrown away onto a heap where the dead swallow also lay. So when the statue was taken out and it was melted in the furnace, that broken heart of the statue, which was made of lead, did not melt. However, they just threw it away, which went and fell near the body of this dead swallow. So both the heart and the dead swallow lay side by side. They became the chosen ones of God. So this heart and the swallow were brought to the heaven. It was brought by the angels to heaven, and they became the chosen ones of God. And they lived forever in heaven. So they lived there forever, ever and ever, serving God. So this is the story. I hope you have understood what it is. Go through the lesson again, students, so that you are able to answer the questions. Now quickly, let's see what message this story gives us. We must spread happiness around us. Disparity and sorrow can be overcome by compassion, generosity and sharing. We must be sensitive to the sufferings of people and give them timely help. So we need to spread happiness, and as much as we can, try to reduce the sufferings of the people by giving them timely help. We need to be compassionate and generous and must be able to share happiness all around us. The story teaches us the virtues of kindness, pity, and sacrifice towards others. The prince and the swallow sacrificed themselves to help the poor and needy. The power of love for the mankind made them live forever as the precious and chosen ones of God. So here the story teaches us the virtues of kindness, being kind, showing pity to people who are actually distressed, and also some kind of sacrifice, sacrificing certain things which we possess for the betterment of others. So here, as we saw in the story, the prince and the swallow, they both sacrificed themselves totally to help the poor and the needy people in the city. So this power of love for the mankind, this kind of kindness and sacrifice shown towards mankind made them live forever as a precious and chosen ones of God. So God also loves people who actually help mankind, show some kind of regard and love for the mankind and help the people in distress and help people in need when they are needed the most, with all the possible kindness shown towards them. So this is the message that this story gives us. So you could be asked any question related to this. So students, go through the lesson, go through the original lesson video, go through this revision video so that you could understand the lesson better and able to answer the questions properly. Thank you, students, and all the best.